Hello everyone, welcome back to Ben's English News. In today's video, I have a really cool story to tell you about wrestling and Chris Jericho. If you're a fan of WWE, stick around and find out what happened to Chris Jericho in this story. If you would like to follow along with me, please download the worksheet below. Okay, so this is a story again from the BBC. We have Chris Jericho reports wrestling title belt stolen. Wow, well this sounds like a story, so let's find out what happened. It is a story that would be right at home on a professional wrestling show. Chris Jericho defeated Hangman Page to become the inaugural All Elite Wrestling World Champion on Saturday at wrestling pay-per-view show All Out. Yet just 3 days later, the 48-year-old no longer had his newly won title belt in his possession and reported it to Tallahassee police. Local police confirmed they are investigating the alleged theft. AEW had posted a response on their Instagram page telling worried commenters that authorities are working on it as we speak and thanking them for their concern. But a few hours later, Jericho released a video calling the perpetrator a low-life scumbag and promising to launch a worldwide investigation to find his missing belt. Quite a story. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the interesting words and phrases from this article. Okay, the first one that I've highlighted for you is to be right at home. It's a phrase and it means to be, to feel, to look relaxed and comfortable in a particular surrounding or situation. So in the context of our story, this story would fit in as a made-up story in a professional wrestling show. So you could say it feels right at home. Inaugural, an adjective which means making the beginning of an institution, activity, or period of office. It's why presidents have an inauguration. So in the context of our article, Chris Jericho was the first ever person to become champion of the AEW. He was the inaugural champion. Pay-per-view, a noun. Many of you will probably know this already, but some of you won't. And I think it's quite an interesting one to learn. And it means a system of television broadcasting by which subscribers pay for each program as they watch them. So not like Netflix, which would be a subscription-based service. This is where you pay for one-off shows, most likely boxing, MMA, wrestling, these kind of events. And in our context, the show All Out was a paid broadcast. Therefore, it was a pay-per-view. Moving on, we have in one's possession. It's an idiom. In one's possession, in his possession, in her possession. It means owned or held by or under the custody of someone. So in this context, the belt was stolen and no longer owned by Chris Jericho, or at least no longer held by him. It is now in the thief's possession. Alleged, an adjective. An alleged fact has been stated but has not been proved to be true. An allegation. In this context, the police can only confirm that they are investigating a theft. They cannot prove that this is true. Later in the investigation, they may be able to prove a theft happened. Therefore, it would no longer be alleged theft, but a theft. Perpetrator. A perpetrator is someone who carries out a harmful or illegal or an immoral act. You will often hear on crime TV shows, the police will say, the perp was blah blah blah. The perp was blah blah blah. The perp being the perpetrator. It's the criminal, the person who committed the act or the crime. In this context, Jericho has released a video calling the person who who stole his belt, the perpetrator, a low-life scumbag. Which brings me to my next one, which is low-life. What is a low-life? A low-life is a noun. It's a person or an activity characterized as being disreputable and often criminal. If something is described as low-life, you don't want to be involved. In this context, Jericho is referring to the person who stole his belt. By calling him a lowlife, he's calling him a criminal. And scumbag. We can join lowlife and scumbag to create lowlife scumbag, which is an even bigger insult. What is a scumbag? A scumbag is someone who is contemptible or objectionable. Somebody you don't like, basically. Somebody you find disgusting. So in this context, Jericho is expressing that he does not like whoever took the belt. They are a low-life scumbag. Okay, so let's have a look at the synonym match and I will give you the answers, okay? So the first one is to be right at home. It is to fit in. Inaugural. Debut. Pay-per-view. Premium TV. In one's possession. Owned. Alleged. Supposed. Perpetrator. Culprit. Low-life. Despicable. Scumbag. Dirtbag. Thank you guys for watching. If you would like to see any more videos like this, please stick around, there will be more. Please leave comments. I will be choosing one person from the comment section after every video to give them 1 hour on Skype with me for a conversation or some English that you would like me to teach you. So please leave a comment below and I will choose one of those people to have a Skype class with me. As always, thank you for watching. See you next time.